Hello, my name is Travis Newville. I live and work here at Shambhala Mountain Center, where we have the good fortune to be hosting an upcoming retreat called Running with the Mind of Meditation. That's going to be taking place August 29th through September 1st up here in the Rocky Mountains in Colorado. And that retreat's going to be led by Cynthia MacKay, Marty Kibiloski, and Tarah, Cech. I'm not sure if I pronounced the last two of those names correctly. But anyways, I have the other person whose name I think that I pronounced accurately, Cynthia MacKay, here on the line today to have some discussion related to what's going to be going on in that program. So Cynthia, thank you so much for taking the time to have some conversation today.
My pleasure.
So, in the meditation world, especially the Shambhala Buddhist world, the disciplines of running and meditation, were brought together when Sakyong Mipham released a book on that called Running with the Mind of Meditation. But to other folks, that may be sort of a new idea. So what is it? Why do running and meditation, what do they have to do with one another?
The Sakyong talks about running, movement is good for the body and stillness is good for the mind. And by bringing the two of them together, we can work with our mind and feel our breath in our body and feel our body while we're running. So we can be mindful and aware of our environment and mindful of our breath and our body while we're actually running. It sort of brings the body and mind together, I think, in my experience.
In a lot of traditions, there's walking meditation, which I've heard it said that walking meditation is sort of like a bridge between your sitting practice and your engagement in your everyday life in the world. Running is like maybe another step in that same sort of direction where you're not on the cushion, but there's some more heightened awareness of maybe your environment and physical sensations.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're definitely taking it all out into the world, off the cushion and into the world. So it could be walking with the mind of meditation. It could be swimming with the mind of meditation. It's really just understanding that our minds can be placed on the present moment in whatever we're doing. Wherever the breath is in the body, we can keep bringing our mind back to that. And if it's fast and heightened or slow, or we can have some awareness of what's going on in our body as we move into the world.
As this discipline has been, more people that I know, more meditation practitioners that I know are running, and as this is sort of gaining popularity, I reflected on, before I started practicing sitting meditation, maybe a few years before, I experienced that sort of calmness and quietness of mind when I used to run more. And so that's kind of interesting to me that I kind of stumbled into that sort of meditative awareness. I ran into it more than stumbled. When did you first sort of draw that connection? Were you meditating first or running first? And how has that come about in your experience, in your path?
Well, I was meditating first for lots of years, and then I started, I was always running, but it was only in the last 4 or 5 years that I really started running marathons and long distances. And it was while I was running that I began to notice that my mind wasn't as spinning and chaotic and crazy. I could really come back to the present moment and have a lot more awareness. I just didn't have as many discursive thoughts and discursiveness and neurosis while I was running. I don't know. Yeah, it was maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and it tends to now it just happens. I feel like I go out, I set out for a long run, and I think, well, I'm going to solve this, and I'm going to solve that, and I'm going to think about that, and I'm going to think about that. And then I just start running, and I don't think about any of those things. I don't know what happens, but 3 hours go by, and I've just been really with my breath, and or with the environment or the birds or the dogs that I pass or whatever it is. So I don't know. I think it's a really brilliant way, a really brilliant thing to merge movement and meditation. Is incredible. If you can place your mind on where you actually are and come back to the present moment, that's what we're doing here. So it's great.
It seems like for some people it may be a less boring way to meditate. What would you say about that?
Yeah. A lot of the people that came to the program last year were runners. They weren't meditators. So there were a few meditators, but many of them hadn't ever done any meditation. So the Sakyong, I've heard the Sakyong talk about this as well, that it's almost easier to teach a runner or an athlete how to meditate because they're already familiar with their breath. So we're not introducing them to anything new because they're used to working with their breath. So it's almost just kind of a natural fit to bring your awareness back to your breath that you're already working with anyway as you run or swim or whatever activity.
I think this is something that I've heard from the Sakyong also, and if not, then just something that's occurring to me, that meditation practice, there's actually a lot of exertion involved to actually be practicing and working with the mind. And maybe that's different than some people's preconceptions of meditation, that it's not just kind of sitting there and doing nothing, but there's actually to actually exert yourself to get onto the cushion, and then once you're on the cushion to not just sort of slump into habitual thoughts. And running certainly is a tremendous display of exertion. And so I wonder if that's could be part of it too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it takes a lot of exertion. Yeah, to do either. And to come back to the breath and come back to the present moment and feel your body breathing and to keep coming back takes a huge amount of exertion. Yeah.
I feel like I would have to overcome a huge hurdle of laziness to get into a running practice.
You have to love it. If you love it, and if not, maybe you walk or maybe you swim or maybe you stretch or do yoga, who knows. Yeah.
And so, let's see, in this program in particular that you're going to be leading at Shambhala Mountain Center, what's going to be going on there? How does how are sitting meditation and running going to coexist, and how is that going to work?
Yeah, we're going to talk about the book a fair amount. We'll cover the first 2 chapters of the book. It's a wonderful, incredible book, and hard to do the whole thing in one weekend. So we'll look at the first 2 chapters in the book. We'll talk about understanding our basic goodness, and we will do some sitting meditation. I'll give instruction. We'll do a fair amount of running. There'll be morning runs or yoga, and then we'll have another group, and that's voluntary, very early in the morning, and then we'll have another group run or yoga in the later morning, and some sitting practice of meditation. We'll have some discussion groups about how the meditation is going, what our running or walking or whatever our activity lives are like. We'll have some yoga in the afternoon. It's really, I've only taught this program once, which was last year. John Pratt had been doing it before that, and the Sakyong as well. And I was amazed last year how open-hearted and courageous people were willing to be about their experience. People who had never meditated, they were runners, and they came and really experienced their hearts and minds. It's really an incredible opportunity to come together and work with our minds and our legs.
Mm-hmm. It seems like a great opportunity for people who are either into one discipline or the other, or both, to sort of deepen and explore, maybe expand what their practice is right now.
Yeah, and yoga too. So, we have this incredible yoga teacher, Tarah, who's amazing, and we get to do lots of yoga. So, yeah, it's everything. It's meditation, running or walking, and yoga. And great food at Shambhala Mountain Center, of course, and a beautiful the clean mountain air and trails, and it's an amazing program.
Well, we look forward so much to having you up here and hosting everybody who participates. So we would like to warmly invite anybody who may be watching and listening to this to visit our website, shambhalamountain.org, to learn more about the program and consider coming up. Summertime at Shambhala Mountain Center is very beautiful. There'll be wildflowers all over the place, I promise. And seems like you'll be in really great hands with Cynthia. So Cynthia, thank you so much once again for joining us.
Can we mention the Runner's World article with the Sakyong in it? Or is that going to be mentioned?
That could be mentioned. The Sakyong, who we've been mentioning throughout this interview, is the lead teacher in the Shambhala Buddhist tradition and an avid runner, running marathons and all of this. And in the, I think, most recent issue of Runner's World magazine, there's a really great interview with him where he talks about his connection to running, among other things. And so if you're seeing this on our blog where this interview will be hosted, I'll make sure to include a link somewhere, either, probably right above where this video will be hosted. Check out this link right here to the Sakyong's article. And yes, once again, Running with the Mind of Meditation takes place August 29th through September 1st. And we hope to see a lot of you here. And please tune in next time for some more conversations with awesome teachers like Cynthia. Bye-bye.
Bye.